Hello guys and welcome back to Sim UK. This is DCS World and no, we're not flying the A10A today. We are going to be looking at, if I can find it, the Spitfire LF Mark 9. I'm British, I'm biased, I don't care. This is a beautiful aircraft. I have wanted to get my hands on this for such a long time. In fact, I've had it quite a long time. And I actually meant to get this video out to you last week, but I have a bit of a problem when it comes to flying Spitfires. I'm okay with the startup. I do need some practice, but I can get the engine started. I can just about taxi out to the runway. I can even get to the end of the runway. Sometimes I even get the wheels off the floor. Then it kind of all goes a bit Pete-tong. These are supposed to be some of the easiest aircraft in the world to fly. Not for me. And to be honest with you, I don't know why. I used to play Cliffs of Dover. Had exactly the same problem. Now, I always put it down to my joystick being too sensitive with the axes, or the game itself just being unrealistic and pants. But here we are in DCS World, pretty much I'd say the best looking flight sim available at the moment, albeit, let's be honest, on a much smaller scale than some of the other bigger boys, but I'm having exactly the same issues. So today's video is going to be hit or miss, quite literally. If I make it up in the air, then great. If I don't, then I'm sorry, it didn't happen. I don't hide things from you guys. If I'm good, I'm good. If I'm bad, I'm bad. And I'm telling you now, with this, I'm going to be bad. But I am trying, and I am learning, and I'm put hours and hours and hours of practice into this. So I'm hoping I'm at least going to get to take off and fly around Normandy. I've got the Normandy map. Hopefully I'll be able to fly around Normandy a little bit. And if you haven't seen how fantastic this game looks, you're in for a treat. I'd be surprised, being simmers that you are, if you haven't at least seen a video on this. But I cannot wait for this to go full release and to have missions. And I want to get into this so bad. Incidentally, I bought the Normandy map and DCS World massive pack bundle thing because I wanted to fly B-17 bombers. They are quite literally one of my favourite aircraft on the planet. Unfortunately, I'm starting to think maybe you can't fly the B-17 because there doesn't seem to be any sign of it anywhere. If it's coming in the future, then I'm excited and happy. If it's not coming at all, I think I might cry. Because it's very expensive. I spent an awful lot of money on this because of the B-17. Now, we've got the Spitfire, so all is not lost. I think that's a long enough intro. Let's go see if I can even take off with this bad boy. Okay, guys, so here we are. We're in a cold and dark start. Our mission is basically start the engine, get onto the runway, take off, fly around for a bit, and then land again. Sounds pretty easy, and I've seen lots of people flying, shooting stuff down, looking really awesome. You're not going to see any of that today. I don't see many people start doing a startup. I don't see many people doing a takeoff. I don't know if it's because it's difficult. I don't know if it's because it's so easy it's not worth recording. I don't know what the reason is, but that's the stage I'm at the moment. So let's do it. In my breath? That's not my breath. That's in game. Now the audio on this, I mean, look at the detail here. Look at the scuff marks there on this hydraulic pump. It's just really nicely done. This doesn't seem to be showing up. I'm not sure what the issue with that is, because I've seen a video where that works fine. And can you hear that constant sort of noise? You hear that? I have no idea what that is yet. That could be something I'm doing as well. Right, now listen to this. Don't forget, this aircraft literally was a massive contributor to winning World War II, and it was made out of wood. It's made out of balsa wood. Well, it's not balsa wood, sorry, but this is such an incredible aircraft, and every pilot that you hear speak about this aircraft says how beautiful she is to handle, how wonderful she is. Now, in the earlier models, there was a design flaw. If you rolled the aircraft, then the carburetor would flood, the engine would stop, and you'd have all sorts of issues as a result. But I don't think that's going to be a problem today. For one thing, I'm not planning on flying upside down. I'm not planning on it. That's not to say it's not going to happen. Anyway, this is a nerve-wracking moment for me. So I am a beginner. Be nice. Help me out if you can, because this is something I've been wanting to do for such a long time. Now, it's not going to be in the correct order. It's just going to be as I remember things. I've got nothing written down. This is all in my head. If I get it wrong, I get it wrong. Simple as that. Right. Check the magnetos are off. That's over here. Check the brakes. Brake pressure here. That seems to be fine. Now, I've only got progressive on and progressive off brakes. That causes me quite a big issue. But I'll explain that later. Flaps, check the flaps. These are the flap indicators. They seem to be working fine. You can hear those dropping back down, and that will affect the overall pressure that we have here. So to start with, we check that the RPM lever is in fully off, or 0 position. The mixture control set to 0. The carburetor air control must be off. Landing gear must be down, which it is. And the, excuse me, I've got an itchy eye. The drop tank, oh wow, the drop tank must be off. This is the fuel tank pressure. That must be set to off, which it is. If we just move the control stick out the way, we check that the main fuel tank is off. I've done the magnetos. Set the altimeter to 0. I can hear an aircraft coming in. We've got the canopy open yet. That's cool timing. Now I've successfully taken off once. Just once. And I say successfully taken off. It was a scary, rickety, seat of your pants, could have died at any moment kind of takeoff. And that's pretty much what I'm expecting today. I've probably tried taking off about 20 times, and 19 times I've ended up with either 1 or 0 wings and lots of fire. That's pretty much how it rolls. I'll explain the difficulties that I'm having as we get to it. See the Spitfire coming in? Very, very nice, very controlled, very professional landing. Hear that Merlin engine? That is loud. So hopefully that won't deafen me out too much. You'll still be able to hear me, guys. Where was I? So I've checked the flaps, I've checked the air alarms, I've checked the rudder, checked that, checked everything. Right. I think that's the cold and dark done. Check to make sure we got fuel. That looks pretty good. Set the altimeter. Okay, so what we need to do now, we need to roll the throttle forward until the landing gear and low pressure light, warning light come on. You can see here and here. We'll roll that back to 0. We will turn the main fuel pump on. Let's just check we do have fuel. Yeah. Open up the primer. We'll set RPM to maximum. And air carburetor air control to maximum. That is a loud aircraft. Just close that for a minute so you can hear what I'm saying. Right, so where are we at? RPM's 100%. Carburetor 100%. I don't know what that noise is. I really don't. Okay, let's prime. I feel like I've forgotten something already. 5 times. Depending on location and environment. And then this is called a wobble, I think. Is it a wobble? Wobble type fuel pump. So we'll keep pumping this until that low pressure warning goes off. Or low fuel goes off. I'm not sure what that is. I think it's low pressure. One for luck. Okay. Has he stopped his engine now? Good. Right. Okay, so I'll move this out of the way again. And here we have this is the starter and this is the booster coil. Now to start the engine, you will press the starter and the booster coil together. As the prop starts to turn, you will throw in the mixture control to full, and that will ignite and fire up the engine. So we need to get the magnetos on, the 2 magnetos over here. Altimeter set. Everything looks okay. Now, I've got these 2 buttons bound to buttons on my controller. So my left hand is going to be occupied dealing with this. My right hand is going to be occupied dealing with this, which means I won't be able to grab the brake. So I'll crack the throttle very slightly. If I do too much, I'll start shooting forward. If I start shooting forward, I'll slam the brake on. The front of the aeroplane will dip down into the dirt, and that'll be the end of the flight. That's happened to me lots of times already. And then I'll tell you about my next concern. Okay, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, and hope for the best. I feel like I've forgotten something already, but we'll see. We'll see how good I am. Okay. Got my hand on the brake. RPM's dropping. That's not me doing that. That's the engine settling itself. Oil pressure's quite high actually. I'm going to have to check my notes after we've made this video, but I think that oil pressure's too high. I could be wrong. I don't know what to do about it if it is too high, to be quite honest with you. Right, so we'll lock these off. These are just protective caps. So if I accidentally press either of those buttons, nothing happens. Lock the primer. So we're idling quite nicely at 1000 RPM at the moment. That's indicated here. In all honesty, I'm not entirely sure how to read this speedometer yet. And you'll see I'm all over the place in this aircraft. The nerves are unbearable. These are the 3 key areas here. We're going to take off with an RPM around 30 once we're in the air and the landing gear's up. We've got 5 seconds to do that, or as long as we're under 160, which I don't know where that is. I think it's about there. I'm going to have to do some research on this. We drop back to 28 RPM and try and maintain a boost of 10. So we'll take off with a boost of 8 at 30 RPM and then drop down to 2800 RPM and a boost of 10. Hope that makes sense. That's the correct method. Now, to taxi is quite tricky. As you can see, I've either got brakes or no brakes. I can't sort of hold it a little bit on because I don't have foot pedal controls at the moment. I've only got a button and no axis to use. To taxi, you need to sort of... Whoa, she nearly cut out then, brakes on. Steady on, girl. The throttle is ridiculously sensitive. Let me just show you. A tiny amount there has taken us up to 15,000 RPM. Absolutely ridiculous. Hang on 1 second, I have a 5-year-old in the cockpit. So, you can probably hear the fan now because the door's wide open. Right, so we're idling at 1,000 RPM. We need to get sort of dance around between 1,000 and 1,500 RPM in order to taxi. To taxi, the controller needs to be held back at all times. Even halfway up the runway you do that. And this is where it gets really tricky. To turn, you have to brake. And what that does is effectively, if you apply a rudder to the right, rather than turning right, when you hit the brake, it will apply the brake on the right wheel only, thereby turning you right. It's quite a complicated process, especially without foot pedals. So let's see if I can even do it. The other issue, of course, is that this thing picks up speed really quickly. And if you apply too much brake, or you have too much speed, the front end will just tip into the dirt. Okay, we're away. Very nervous. Very nervous. So excuse my terribly nervous state. Now this isn't the most obvious of runways, but I think we're heading this way. Which in itself is tricky. Oh, just the slightest touch. Just the smallest touch of the throttle. And it's up. See it tip forward then. Any more than that and we would have been toast bananas. Right, let's just give her a run out. See if that oil sorts itself out. Shut the canopy. It's a little bit quieter in here. So this could be a very short video, guys. I'm not even sure where the runway is, if I'm being honest with you. Not sure if I'm lined up properly or not. Not a clue. Don't die on me. Here we go. Pressure. I think I might be slightly misaligned on the runway here. Let me just try and turn myself a little bit. You can see how nervous I am, right? Wasn't joking when I said that. This is really difficult for me. I've only ever taken off once, so wish me luck. Oh! Oh! Nearly tipped her into the ground. I just suddenly remembered. Don't die, please. I don't know if you can see that. It's difficult for me to show you because I'm trying to keep the throttle and the brake on, which means I have to swap hands. But just here, I've changed nose down, nose up to 1, which I think is the correct setting for takeoff. And then down here we've got the rudder control, which is supposed to be 1 full turn to the right, but I do about half a turn, and that's how I got off the ground last time. Right. Wish me luck. That's not a nice straight start, is it? Come on. It doesn't help that it's so misty and I can't really see where I'm going. Here we go then. Try again. Dancing on the rudder. Dancing on the rudder. 30 RPM. Ah, here we go. It's all gone wrong. It's all gone horribly wrong. Somehow we're in the air. We shouldn't be, but we are. Right, let's try and get the landing gear up. In all of my nervousness and kerfuffle, I completely neglected to put the flaps down as well. Somehow we're in the air. God knows how, guys. That was appalling. And probably the most nerve-wracking takeoff I've ever made in my life. Right. So it's massively overcast, which is not great. And right, let me get the RPM down, the boost up to 10. I apologise for the quality of this flight. Right, boosters at 10. RPM's at 28, so this is climb speed. So I'm going to just ease off a bit because I don't want to climb, I just want to cruise. No idea what speed I'm doing. I think I'm doing about 220. Could be anything. Unfortunately, it's pretty overcast. Nothing I can do about that. It's the first time it's been like this, but hopefully I can show you some cool stuff. I don't even know where I'm taking off from. Look at this, look at this. Look at the light effect on the windows. I'm going to try and get a view of the sea here. See if I can get a bit lower. Wow, that mist is throwing me curveballs all over the place. Jesus, I can't see very much. I don't know where I am, and I can't read these. I can't read these dials well yet. I'm not accustomed to them at all. The chances of me finding that runway again are very slim. But yeah, I mean that was a terrible takeoff. The takeoff before this one was much better. Crikey, we're low. Wow, we are very low. Now the axes on my controller are really sensitive. Now I'm not sure if that's accurate for this aircraft. I know it's supposed to be a fighter and very manipulable, but look at that sun effect there. But to be honest with you, it's almost uncontrollable. That's how it feels. Just trying to keep an eye on my speed and make sure I don't go too slowly. Look at this, guys. Yeah, I lost it. I lost it there for a second. Oh, I'm fighting it. I'm fighting it. Got a bit too slow there. And that's kind of the problem I'm having with this aircraft is, I mean, obviously I don't know what the settings are meant to be, what sort of speed I'm meant to be. I know that I can't put the landing gear down if I'm going faster than 160. I know that ideal cruising speed to actually come into land is 90. But to be honest with you, everything else is complete rookie. I shouldn't even be in this aircraft. Is basically the state of play here. I don't know how to play DCS either, so I mean I'm a rookie on multiple levels here. But hopefully we can break through this flipping mist, or low cloud, or whatever the hell it is, and be able to show you something gorgeous. I'd like to find the beach. I don't know how to bring my map up, so don't be asking me about that. If you know how to do it, let me know. The towns are cool. Some of the big towns are accurately modelled as well. Oh, we're all over the shop here. Just, you know, it just doesn't feel right. Nothing is feeling right in this plane. I found some cool churches and things earlier, just prior to crashing into a tree, that was. And it wasn't as misty as this. So, I mean, this is a... Thank you for texting me. This is a tad annoying because I can't see very much to show you very much. Tree, tree. That might have been close. DCS is absolutely stunning. It really is stunning. I'm hoping that given enough time and effort that I'll be able to actively control this aircraft and get in and enjoy some proper battles. I mean, we've got a nice 158, 155 cruise speed at the moment, so it kind of qualifies as low and slow, I'd say. Look at the effect on the windows there. Isn't that fantastic? Absolutely fantastic. Now, I've no doubt that all of the issues I'm experiencing are due to me, my ignorance, my lack of skill, my lack of knowledge, my lack of understanding. And, you know, I accept that wholeheartedly. And, wow, we are low. Oh, we were very, very low for a second then. We could have landed. Oh, the cliffs. That means the sea. It's a really misty day, guys. I'm a total noob. I'm a total and utter noob. But I tell you what, I'm an enthusiastic one. I so want to learn how to fly this aircraft. My nerves are getting the best of me at the moment. That's only the second time I've taken off. I've never made it back to the runway to land. There are so many buttons that I have to configure and set up. There are so many things about DCS that I have to learn. But I want to do it. And if you know anything about this game, and you can give me any pointers, then please do. You know, not just please do, but please do, because I don't know. I find the tutorials and the guides and the whole of DCS is very geared towards highly experienced pilots. I can jump into a GA aircraft on FSX or X-Plane or whatever, or even FSW these days, and I can take off, I can fly around, I can go to points, I can land the aircraft. I'm okay with that. This is a completely different kettle of fish, this Spitfire here. This is something completely different, and DCS, I think, is probably the best, certainly military aircraft flight simulator available today. So absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. I know we crashed and it was a terrible flight and I didn't excel at anything, and we couldn't see anything because it was bloody misty. I mean, how annoying is that? I've been trying to do this for a whole day I've spent doing this, and then when I finally do it, it's all misty and you can't see anything. So apologies for that, but I'm just a little feather in my cap. I did a full cold and dark startup. I got off the runway eventually, just about. That was a terrible takeoff. We got some low and slow a little bit, but yeah, ultimately I need to practice more and get much better, and stop panicking quite so much, I think, is the key. So I hope you enjoyed that, guys. If you haven't seen DCS World before, it's a lot better than probably what I've shown you in this video, which is a bit of a shame. But yeah, I mean, if you're a regular at Sim UK, please do come back and watch as I do more and more videos and hopefully get better and better at the game. And if you're new to Sim UK, then welcome to you, and I promise I'll get better. That's it from me. Thanks for watching. Until next time, goodbye, everybody.